Yeah.
We are live. So let me go to my Facebook and see if I see it. Come on.
Mm.
It says we're live, so I'm waiting for it to pop. There it is. Live. So there it is. So we'll wait for some people to come in the room. Um, I sent out, I posted. So I'm excited about this season of this live. I'm really
Me too.
excited. I'm really excited about it. So we're still waiting on people to come in. Um, okay, I'm gonna just send a. Yeah, so I'm really excited about where we're going and um, getting the book going as well. If we decide that's what we're gonna do, and all the good topics that we've talked about, I'm really excited about what's happening. What is happening?
Yes. Me too. Me too. It's time. Be a
It
great
is.
summer.
It is. It is time. We have four people. I can't see who they are, so you guys say hello. Okay, Sharon Wise is watching.
Let's share.
Um, so you guys say hello if you are on. Just type in the chat, hello, I'm on, I see you, I'm with you. Type something like that so we know that you are here. Because sometimes we can see you on the screen and your name pops up, and sometimes it doesn't. So today we first of all, it has been 2 years.
I know that's the coolest. I thank you for sharing that.
I had a memory to pop up, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I had to go scroll all the way back, and I'm like, oh my God, it has been 2 years.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for supporting us for this long. Welcome back to Heads Up Mental Clarity. And what I love about what we do, Steph, is that if we need to take a break, we take a break.
Yes.
Because I
Self
believe that,
care.
yeah, because I believe that when we take a break, hi, Sister Giggers, I see you, I see you too. Because I believe that when we take a break, it teaches people to kind of like set boundaries for their own lives and know that it is okay to take a break when you need a break, when life is happening or whatever is going on. So I love that we can like take a break and not feel bad that, oh, I'm sorry, we got to cancel today because the therapist needs to step back. This therapist needs to
Exactly.
regroup. And,
Yeah.
life happens for us too. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited and happy that we can do that and not be like, oh, I can't, like, no expectations and no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so happy that we can do that
I
because,
know. Physician, heal thyself. Like,
yes, because we need to do that. How are we gonna tell people what to do, or tell them what's good, and then we don't practice it? So I'm happy we're able to do that.
Yeah.
So listen, you guys, today we're gonna be talking about stand in your power and balance life. So we
Mhm.
taken a couple of topics and kind of conjoined them, and we're gonna talk about them. And I'm really excited. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We want dialogue. Well, that's what we're aiming for, some open dialogue. We're aiming for questions so we can answer those questions for you. So
Yeah.
anything you want to say, just drop it in the chat and we will read it.
Yeah, I did want to say this, and I wish that there were more people on, but since it's recorded, it'll be heard. But my heart has just been heavy. I don't watch the news, unfortunately. So while doing the research for this conversation, I went on to the came across the New York Times and learned about the gun shooting or whatever in May,
Of the
and
children.
yeah. And
Mhm.
then like what the captions that popped up on my screen were, you know, some Senate whatever about the gun bills and all of this stuff. And I just really wanted to emphasize that, guns are not our problem. Mental health is.
Yes.
And we want to blame, I say, we want to hide behind the Senate.
Yes.
And then want to blame guns as the problem. But this person was obviously has extreme disturbances, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
however he had acquired the disturbance, they were there. They didn't just happen on that day.
Right.
And so it bothers me when every time there's a school shooting, it's like a Groundhog Day experience. Like, oh, the guns, the guns don't pick themselves up, right? It's
right.
people with mental health challenges hurting people pick up guns. And so if we would, surrender our energy to health, mental health,
right.
and kindness and compassion and love, then we wouldn't have to worry about guns. Guns will be just what they're there for, to protect and kill food so we can eat. So I just needed to say that, because it's not the guns, it's mental health. It's the stress and strain that is on our society, emotionally and socially, but emotionally for absolute certain. And that's just my little 1-2 on it. And it was just like this. I was reading and I was like, this feels like a Groundhog Day experience. Every time there's a shooting, we want to talk about guns, but nobody wants to talk about mental health.
Yes.
Nobody wants to address mental health.
Yeah. And that's the same in living in some of the areas that, some people live in the areas where they're hearing this all the time, right? And it's always talk about, oh, they need this, or oh, they need that. And there's very rarely a time that somebody's perspective of it is that there is mental health challenges.
No.
There's not enough discipline. There's not enough this. There's not enough that. Right. And while that could possibly be true, what we do know for a fact is that we weren't born to pick up guns and kill people.
Right. Yeah. And I don't want to minimize her. My spiritual warrior, Iyanla Vanzant, says, if you don't tell the truth, we'll always be fixing a lie.
Yes.
And I say that to my clients. I say this to you, the world. We're fixing lies.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why nothing's getting fixed. Because if you don't tell the truth, we'll just be fixing a lie. And so I just want to put that out there, and whoever and whatever I can do, I intend to do it, because the call was given to me at that moment. It's like, this is not a gun problem. You got, movie stars and people saying gun control or gun whatever. And I'm like, guns? What about the mental health of the person who would do that?
Yeah.
What about that person?
Yeah.
19 years ago.
Yes, for sure. And yes.
So, standing in our power is telling the truth and being integral.
That's a really good beginning and segue into that. Like we are powerless unless we're standing in integrity, for sure. But I think too, and I think too that a lot of times that if we face that, maybe we have to face our own challenges too. If we can avoid that, then we can avoid our own challenges too.
The reason why mental health is gone unchecked is because we don't want to stand in our truth.
Right.
You don't want to stand in our truth, because if I look at your stuff, now I have to look at my stuff, and I don't want to look at my stuff, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut about your stuff.
Or I think it can be challenging. I don't really know, because
nobody know. Right.
Right. Yes. And so
except for the people who are willing to do their work. Yeah.
Yes. So those of you just popped in, welcome. Thank you for coming in. And we are talking today about standing in your power and balancing life. And what we were just discussing is the shooting of the children, and how we want to just focus on guns and not stand in our power and be in integrity and tell the truth about mental health illnesses, and how that affects us. So that's what we're talking about today. Stand in your power and balance life. And so let's just first of all establish that we are powerful, because I think that also what keeps us from standing in power is that we don't even recognize and realize that we are powerful. We don't recognize the power that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, what is power? What is our power?
Yeah.
I think that we have understanding that we always have the power to say yes and say no. The fact that we have choice is our number one power, that we definitely have choice. The fact that we can get in and out of our beds every day is our power.
Yes.
I don't know if we recognize those small things, which are big things. The fact that I can wake up every morning and I can breathe, because without this breath,
and have the capacity to think,
to
even have the capacity to think and to process, is power. That in itself is power, because we have the capacity to now ask questions about the things that we might not necessarily understand or know, or, how to operate or what to do. So having that also is power too, right? And so,
and I'm just wanting to say, if for somebody power triggers a negative experience, pay attention to that, because if having power, just like the people who have a negative experience about having money, if it registers for you in a way that is low vibes,
right,
you'll manifest a lifestyle that feels powerless, and you'll be the victim of this life that you live. But if you understand that you do have power, and that power is not a bad thing. Yes, people have misused
their power,
and mistreated others in circumstances because of their power or influence. But and this is just me saying it, you got to believe it in your own spirit self, that power is not a bad thing. But if it is for you, please be willing to renegotiate that after today.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yes. It's kind of like, I talk a lot about being selfish, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, because to stand in your power, you have to be selfish. Right. And a lot of times we're taught that that's not good. That's not okay, because you're not putting somebody else first. But selfish, you cannot give of yourself unless you are selfish enough to take care of yourself.
Right.
So power is kind of like one of those words. We've been given the negative connotation of it, as opposed to it's a positive thing, provided that you use the power that you have in a positive way and not negatively. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So you started out with like, what is power and what those things are, and some of the things in my research of it is, kind of found some stuff on the concept of living a balanced life, and the power of balance. If your life is out of balance, there's no way you can recognize even the power that you have, or your potential power, if your life is out of balance. So that's kind of how I was seeing the topic when it was like, oh, we could talk about that. So one of the things I wanted to just read really quickly: the concept of living a balanced life, a life that is in harmony and in tune with the body, mind, and spirit. Living in balance strengthens you. It helps to center your being and to stand in your own power. This is the power of balance.
Yeah. Like being earthly bound and heavenly focused is is power.
Yes.
So I'm here and I'm grounded here, but my source and my energy and my fuel, all of that comes from something bigger than me.
Yes.
And that's a balanced life when I am able to walk here in this 3D experience, but stay connected to a 5D or a great experience that's greater than me.
Myself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you want to start with the balance part or want to start with the power part. I'm kind
of.
I
have wrote the definition of what is power is possession of control, authority, or influence over others, or things, the ability to act or produce an effect, so an outcome, and physical and mental might or influence. And then power is an energy source.
Yes.
And that it gives energy to create change. A lively change.
Right. Positive change, right?
Positive change. Yeah. Well, sometimes it can be a negative change depending on what the power is, but it's still the energy has an effect to change something, be it blow it up or light it up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And so how do we own our own power? Like, how do you own your own personal power? How do you go ahead?
We have some stuff here too, acknowledging and declaring your ambition. But one of the practical things when we started, or I alluded to too, was getting clear about what I feel about power.
Yes.
When I hear the topic of power, what literally happens on the inside of me? Does it make me straighten my shoulders and hold a stance and move myself forward? Or does it make me become suspicious and question everything? Because power, getting clear about what power is, what we would like you to understand power to be as something positive and encouraging and innately yours from the beginning. Like, it's yours. If you don't feel powerful, it's because you've been encouraged to not have it.
Exactly. And it's not hi Kim. Hi Chandra. Thank you guys for chiming in. Yeah, and so because we've been some people, I don't want to say everyone, have been taught or have experienced being the subordinate of power or more influence, and it's been in a negative way, right? And so when you hear power, like you said, then do you feel subdued? Do you feel low? Do you feel powerless when you hear power? And how does it make you feel to know that you can operate, you have power, and you can operate in that in a positive way? So that takes some searching, right? That takes some soul searching.
Absolutely.
Takes some awareness,
absolutely.
Itself.
Right. Absolutely. And just getting clear with that. This is a season of clarity.
It is.
We need to become more and more clear about our truth. And standing in our truth is power.
Right.
That's the selfishness part. That if I adopt being selfish, then I get to know me, right? I get to get clear about who am I. Yeah. And that is powerful too.
And knowing how the positive being you can be when you do become clear, when you're first selfish about making sure you're taking care of yourself, you're intentional about it, because if you're not accustomed to operating in that way, it's not just going to happen. So you have
to it's very challenging and understand that.
Yeah. So you got to be intentional. You got to be aware. You have to be intentional. And then being selfish. Because again, I think that if we're not selfish with our own selves, our own time, our own person, then how do you fill up so that you can be a positive light or whatever it is that you're trying to be and purpose you're trying to fulfill in life if you don't service you first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that would cause you to selfish just means to pay attention to self first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like being on that plane, put your oxygen mask on
Yes,
first.
first, yes. And for, I don't know about guys because I'm not one, but I am a female and I've worked, I've done this mental health journey with women since 2000. And
Mhm.
um that is one of the hardest things for us to do, is to own our place and to be selfish.
Right.
It is not the first thing that we've been programmed to do, is to be selfish. Actually, unfortunately, between the ages of 0 and 3 or 4, we're shamed for
Oh,
being
me
selfish.
and my girlfriend just always on the same page. It's
we
like
we
that
are
was in my
shamed.
head. Yes.
And so then we got to undo. And the things that we learn between 0 and 3 are the hardest things for us to change as adults. And
Yes.
so, and we are shamed for being selfish. You should share. That's not nice.
Yes. Right. I just had that conversation with a parent, and it's just kind of like, of not necessarily their child, but what we're taught in childhood. And and you can't, no is stripped away as soon as you can talk.
Mm-hmm.
No is stripped away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do this or don't do that. No. Okay, in my little body, I don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
And don't tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, because there's a better way to get
Don't
it
tell
done.
me no. Don't hit me back.
It's this power and control. Immediately is this power and control,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
So then power is not nice. Power is not a good thing. I want power for its wrong intention, right?
Mhm,
I want
mhm.
power so that the big people that were over me, I want to do what they
They
did
did.
to someone else. And so
Yes.
that's why I mentioned that when we first started. It's like, get familiar with what power is doing inside of you. When you hear power, what happens
Yeah.
inside? Does your root chakra start to like
Mhm.
clench up?
What's
Do you
happening in the
start,
body when you hear
yeah,
that?
when you
Yeah.
start to feel, oh, I wish I could have power, or I don't know what it means to have whatever. And who do you think of when you
Mhm,
think of power? And if you go all the way over to an Oprah Winfrey, then you got this big old gap here
mhm.
to try to
Yes.
live up to. I'm sorry, you can't see my hands. To live up to. And so there's power that is in us, this
Right.
space right here, and getting clear about what power means. You
Yes.
may unconsciously not even realize that you have a bad relationship with power.
Yeah. And I was just listening to I'm always doing some self-development, and I was just listening to, and the topic about that was money. And it's the same thing, like you won't do better with money because you don't even understand that you have a negative relationship with money based on what's been said to you over and over again. So it's the same thing like with power. And then I think about when you do get a little brassy, right? And you want to walk in, you don't know it's power, but you want to, and then somebody treats you like, if not directly saying, who do you think you are?
And if
That,
you hear that on the inside of yourself, it's still somebody saying it.
that
Is
is true.
something
Yeah.
from far away that is just a reminder. Stay in your place.
Yes.
Don't move in
Yeah.
your power. Don't move in your
Mhm.
strength. But we come here to like break all of that nonsense up.
Yes. Absolutely. You
Just
come in here to shake up the
paradigm.
bag. Yes. And give permission.
Right.
You have permission to think differently.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And feel different.
And
You are
feel different.
powerful beyond measure. Like, we
Yes.
are intrinsically powerful, and we forgive those who didn't see that in us,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We
We were
forgive-
brought
yeah,
here in power.
let there be. Boom. That's it.
That's power. Yes.
Dynamos is that, I think it's the Greek terminology.
It is. It is.
Let
Yes.
there be. It's just don't. That's it.
Yes.
Enough.
And we have this purpose that we are placed here to carry out. And how do you do that if you're not operating in your power?
That's a setup.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, because you don't even know.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we're doing here is we're bringing awareness, giving permission, and then also wanting people to just take a look inside and to make sure that you either don't perpetuate it or stop perpetuating
Yes. In yourself or in somebody
in
else.
others. Exactly. Because we've got to do something different if we want little people to do something different.
Yes. And for us, our age bracket, and any, we're here to change a generation, right? We just got to do it different. Like we at least we got to do it different.
Yes.
If we don't do it different, we need to leave something behind that says you can do it different.
Yes.
Because we are living in the residuals of our forefathers, and it's kind of messy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of doing the work that we do. We get to see the fallout of people that were given bad information about themselves and bad information about what power means, what money means, languages that manifest our realities because we meditate on certain things all the time. And so power is one of those constructs that has been given a bad rap.
Absolutely. And so, so let's own our power. And it's like, well, how do you do that? Like, how do I know how to do that? What do I do with that? And so we've talked about the first step is just sitting within yourself, recognizing, finding out what you just, because you really got to sit with it to even remember what you've been told or what you've experienced with power. And what the messaging is that you got, whether it was verbally or through your experience. What's the messaging?
Yeah, the people with the belt.
Yeah. Right.
The people with the badges and the guns, they had the power. That's what we associated power with. Good cops, bad cops. And then we grew up and we thought that the kid with the latest and the greatest in our school, they had the more power in the football play. The athletes had influence, or the person with the highest GPA. We just give so much of our power away. We give a lead. We create false, like we do false gods. We create this illusion of what power is, based on how it can influence, which is powerful, right? But that same power lives in all of us. It resides there. We started this journey with it.
Yeah. And you said, like, we if we don't understand how our power works, then we inadvertently just give it away because we don't even know we have, like, we right?
Yeah, like our people in Africa.
We give the power away. I love some of the things we do, though, to try to capture our power. At some stages in life, some of us, we cut our hair off. And like, I just love, like, because there is a point in time where you might get to a point where you want to do something different. Might not even know that you're operating, like we call it change. I just want to change.
Right.
There's something powerful about making a big change about something. Like it's a statement being made, even if you don't really recognize that.
Exactly.
So, I love that. But you mentioned, before, one of the things is acknowledge and declare your ambition, right? So, our work is with women, but we do not exclude men.
Right, exactly.
Our work is primarily with women. And so one of the things that our research said, women often have a negative opinion about ambition. It's like,
isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
We struggled with that too, raising our kids.
Yes.
I had a negative because when my parents divorced, my mom was now off to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I associate, she had to work, but that came with its own challenges. So when she would come home, it was this energy, whatever that energy was, but that was the power in the house. And it wasn't nothing nice for
Right.
whatever her story was. And so I didn't see that power, parenting, that working,
Right.
coming home, it wasn't glamorized to me. I
Right.
didn't say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be able to work a job, take care of my kid. I didn't like that level of power, but she was
Mm-hmm.
a very powerful person. When I
Right.
sit back and look at the work that she had to do in the home that she bought, and how, she orchestrated our lives so that her house ran without her being there. That's pretty
Powerful.
powerful,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it was a turn off to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it consciously, but unconsciously I was like,
Right.
and so
Right.
therefore, when I got into partnership, it was easy for me to relinquish that power.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you can have it. I'll take care of the kids and teach and educate and save
Yeah.
money and plan vacations. And I'm cool on that,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
It sounds like, though, even in that experience with mom, it's like when I hear you talk about it, almost sound like I place myself there, and it almost sounds like watch it. It could be exhausting, like watching her have that power, but be exhausted at the same time. And that's probably where whatever the energy was, where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much possible. And that power also rendered her unavailable emotionally. So be
Mm-hmm.
mindful of that.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that comes with power. If we talk about traditional, man in
Yes.
the house and, woman, whatever, when that dad typically came home or was available, it was like, I
I
need,
don't have nothing else to give. I'm
yeah,
tired.
chill
Right.
out, y'all, be quiet, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
it does that. The outcome of that is like, man, like I don't want to do all of that. So it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense that we as women, as powerful as we are,
Yes.
would be given this paradox. I hate it. I hate that was our journey, because it's not true. We can have it
Right.
all,
Right.
but we
Right.
have
You have to
been,
find that balance. And you got to figure out what having it all means to
for
you.
you.
Because when we say, oh, you can have it all, we try to have it all based on somebody else's story,
Please.
based on what somebody else is doing, comparing it with what somebody else is doing. And it's like, that's not your story.
No.
You have to do it within your own story and not someone else's.
And what is it for you to do?
What is it for you to do? And so it says that women want to be successful, but sometimes feel awkward admitting it and letting others know they are committed to their careers.
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Yeah. Because if you're committed to your career, then you're not committed to anything else. And then, like, people make up their own narratives about what's happening in your life.
Or you're doing too much.
Yeah. What is that? If I hear that phrase one more time, who coined that? Hi, hi, Jamel, and Kim says you guys are speaking the truth. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So we
My
got
my mom said Sunday, everything that I did Sunday.
Yes.
And she was like, well, why did you have to do all of that? I said, oh, it was a goal I set for myself. And I just left it alone.
Yeah.
But there was a season I'd be, having to offer an explanation. I didn't really have one, other than it was a goal. It was a lot, but I wanted to do it. I felt powerful enough to get it all done in one day.
Yeah.
But again, that narrative, actually, I thought about that when she and I disconnected. I was like, see, that narrative that I had to limit myself, or I'm doing just too much.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I fell out, but I let my body tell me that. I don't need
Yeah.
nobody else to tell
Right.
and tell
Right.
me that. But yes, give ourselves permission to
But there
just
will be times where you have all these things to do, and the body will be like, "You're not doing that today," and that's okay
Mhm,
too.
mhm,
So
mhm.
let it be your choice and
Yes.
what you want to do, and you dictating what's the limit for you.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm. But you
Yeah.
got to be in tune, though.
Yes.
There's a difference
The secret
in doing
sauce.
all those things because you wanted to, and those were the goals, as opposed to you said yes to all these people and it's got to be done.
Yes.
The difference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jamel says sometimes it takes all of that. You have to find a balance. I'm so glad you said that because that's part of it. Stand in your power and balance life. Kim says, but I'm doing what I feel good about doing.
Always.
Absolutely.
Always what you feel good. That's your sign. That's your signal if you're in your power.
Yes. If you don't feel good doing it,
Feel good, you're not in your power.
you're not in
You're
your power.
not in your power. You're
You're doing
not in your power. If you
no,
do not feel good about it, you are not in your power. That's so
absolutely.
simple, right?
And it's and so I have an example. When I signed up, when I registered for my master's program to for the mental health field, they wanted a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have been in school a long time and I have studied accounting and I have career path and I've done other things and I was really good at those things, right? But when they asked me to write a statement about me and why this field, I have never written anything that felt so good
Mm-hmm.
and fit. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I'm doing it all the time, just not really, it just didn't really have a title on it.
Right.
But it felt very different than when I was trying to major in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Accounting? Like, I was trying to go through with it and everything. Like, yeah, girl, no. But that it fit when it was like, of course I get a little anxious about doing certain things. And so when you had to do that 20-page paper, I used to tell you that all the time. You have to do that 20-page paper. I'd be like, okay, all right, let me pull it together and then just start jamming because that fits. Like that is what I love working with people and you when you are doing something that does not feel good, when we say you're out of your like you can feel
You
it.
can feel it, but you
That's
got to
the
practice
difference.
being in it.
Yes.
So, like, if start with something, I don't know if we're jumping ahead, but
It's okay.
starting with something as simple as, like, if you were a person who works out or yoga, for me, holding a pose feels powerful to me.
Mhm.
And there's certain poses that feel real powerful. So finding something that feels powerful so that you can practice the vibrational escrow of powerfulness for
Yeah.
you. Um, uh, Not answering the phone every time it rings for me today is powerful.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like, yes, I am commanding my day, right? I am
Mhm.
deciding what
Mhm.
I'm doing. But start practicing. If you want to even make a list tonight of the things that you imagine bring you power,
Yes.
and then start practicing how you feel about those things.
And thank you for that, for the small things. Like we have to start with the
Yeah,
small
it's small.
things.
It's small things. If you are cooking something for your family feels good. I love to cook for my family.
Mhm.
So when I get a chance to cook for my family, just the thought of it right now, like I just feel so powerful when I think about the blessing that I am
Yeah.
that does that for them.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so practicing little areas of your life where you can practice the power stuff because we're not trained to be powerful.
Right.
We are trained to disempower ourselves. Our society
Yeah.
disempowers us. We have a gazillion every television program, unless you guys show me one that's not, uh, really emphasizes depowering, like taking power away from somebody, be it a husband, a man, a wife, a girl. Somebody is being, made small, unplugged. And so practice it. Just practice. Find your area where you have power and practice the experience of it and hold fast to it. So then you start to experience that in other things.
Right. Absolutely. Because the more you are used to it, the easier it becomes and the more you want to. And that's why I oftentimes when I talk to people and we're talking about the negatives or the negative thing that happened, the more you can find the positive and how you felt good about it, the more you'll seek out the positive in that thing. So it's like that. The more you practice this thing, and it's anything, you hesitated if you were younger and trying to ride a bike and you kept falling off. But you can be away from that bike for 20 years and then go get on a bike and take off.
Right.
So,
and then you'll become powerful when you can start riding with no hands again. That's my power desire. That's my goal for power. I want to be able to ride down the hill
with no hands.
With no hands. At 55 years old. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be
yeah. 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 So that's what we mean in that. And then, and I kind of alluded to the negative and the positive. We didn't even know this was the next segue, but replacing that negative self-talk and thoughts with positive. Like we talked about how you learned that negative to get you to and it may not have been consciously on the other person, but it caused you to not walk in your power. So nothing can sabotage you more than letting negative self-talk dominate your thoughts.
Yes.
Right.
And so the power is, I can change this, right? The power is, I am amazing. The power is, look at me, I'm doing this. The power is, oh my goodness, I got this. Oh my goodness, I have this. Look at me, I'm doing this. Look at me, I amaze myself. I am amazing. I am opulence. Beginning to just start to tell yourself the truth about who you are will create the energy of power.
And one of the ways, this is one of the things that I do, I have recorded my own voice. Yes, I listen to other affirmations and other people's voice, but I have recorded my own voice. So I can tell me how amazing I am. So record your voice. And tell you every single day throughout the day how amazing you are.
Yes.
And that's another thing that if you with practice, it becomes something that, and so if something negative happens, now the go-to is, but I'm amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm powerful. Let me operate in my superpower. Absolutely. My superpower is my mind about this.
Right.
I get to change my mind about this.
Yes. A lot of us serve, right? That's kind of who we are. That's what we do. We kind of serve. The payoff is it feels good and somebody else is assisted, right? And so but oftentimes we're not really good advocates for ourselves. So like we can advocate for other people, but we are not necessarily the greatest at advocating for ourselves. So advocate, we want to make sure we're advocating for ourselves. So my research says when you understand your value and how you contribute to successful outcomes, this says business, but I'm going to say outcomes in general, you can position yourself as someone who can help others reach their objectives or even reaching your own objectives, right? Because the first thing, again, is putting on your own oxygen mask. Yeah, it's putting on your own. So advocating for yourself. But again, that takes practice because we've been silenced.
Yeah. And then if we don't, and when we're not silenced, then we are reactive and we're advocating for ourselves from a place of victim mode. And that's not powerful, just so we're clear. If we're coming from a place that I am a victim and how dare you treat me this, and I'm not going to let them talk to me this way, that's victim mode. That's not powerful. So there is a distinct difference. Advocating for myself is like speaking up. Advocating for yourself could just being aware that you didn't speak up. Being aware that oh, I want to do that different next time.
Right.
That's power, because
Mhm.
I want to tell you, there are many people on this planet that don't look back and say, oh, I think I want to do that different next time.
Right.
So many people do not do that. That's
Right.
called self-awareness. And
Hmm.
people won't do that. So even advocating for yourself, even if, say, you let a teacher or a principal, or I don't know why that came to me, but a boss, somebody supervising you, say something that's out of line, or whatever, a little, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't care for that. It's okay to say I didn't care for that, or it's okay to even say it to
To
yourself.
yourself.
And
And
then
it's
that wouldn't feel
also,
good.
I think that stepping outside of and moving in a different direction of being a victim, is recognizing that when someone does something, it has nothing to do with you.
Please, like 1,000 times, say that again,
Yeah,
because
I have an example of a supervisor just talking really, and somebody was there to witness it and was like, "Girl, you let her talk to you like," and I said, "Well, I guess that I could have had something to say about it if I felt I needed to defend myself, but I didn't, because that has to do with
oh,
her. It has nothing to do with me. I'm good."
mm-hmm,
And I remember distinctively saying, "I know who I am.
mm-hmm,
So that type of power does not overtake me because I'm looking at it through a different lens. I'm
mm-hmm.
looking at it through, wow, she must be having a bad day."
Right.
I'm not looking at it through, wow, I must be a bad person. I must have done something wrong. I'm not looking at it through that lens. But that takes practice, because I
It
wasn't
definitely
always been
takes
that way.
practice. Yes.
Not always
It
been that
takes
way. I'm
practice.
ready to be like, let's go out. You want to go outside? Right? So it takes practice
It
to,
definitely takes practice. Everything that we're saying takes
yeah.
practice. Please know that it takes practice. Please know that you're not going to get this overnight. I despise lecturers that want to rattle off, and you
Yeah.
should, and be doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, without emphasizing that if it was that easy, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
And the whole like, you should be doing this, does not make you take a step back and look at things the way, what if you thought about this, would make you step back
And think about it.
and think about, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, because you could leave that arena, whatever that situation is, even more powerless.
It happens all the time.
Because I don't, what, oh, I must be awful that I'm
What's
not
wrong with
doing
me
that.
that it doesn't feel so easy for me? That doesn't come easy for me. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen. That doesn't happen that easy for me. And we live in a society that is just uh, full of, compare yourself to me, compare yourself to this, compare yourself to that, if I had to compare myself to everything and everyone, then
Yeah.
I'm never going to feel powerful. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to feel like I've measured up or that I've made it happen. So, know yourself, and
Yeah.
know that all of this is practice, practicing paying attention to your automatic negative thoughts, self-talk,
Mhm,
practice paying
mhm,
attention to what you're saying. You don't talk to my friend like that. That's what I say to
mhm,
myself when I
mhm.
say crazy stuff to myself. We're not doing that
We're
today.
not doing that
We're
today.
not doing that today.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um and when you, because some of us do know, but we kind of can fall back into
Mhm.
our experiences, right?
Mhm.
And so, and I've heard an older person say, you eat the fish and spit out the bones.
Mhm.
Like, so you will learn, once you're aware and you're practicing, you'll learn that when you're hearing something, what's not for you, that
Mhm.
would not to take,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
take from what I'm
Cancel, cancel. That's my
yeah.
favorite line.
Yes.
Cancel,
Yeah.
cancel. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Mm-mm. No.
Standing in your power does not mean that you have to do it all because it's expected.
Mm-hmm.
So asking for help, right? So you just kind of like asking for help. So somehow
That's
we've come,
big.
yeah, because somehow we've come to believe that if we admit we don't have all the answers, we're powerless.
Yes. Yeah.
We're
And people
powerless.
will judge us. And it's so being able to operate collaboratively is a societal move or yeah, a movement now. At least when our kids were in school, they started having the desk together. Remember, desks used to
Mm-hmm.
be in rows by themselves. Everybody was individual.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time my 30-something-year-old now, I think he's 30-something, I can't imagine. By the time he was in fifth grade, they
Yeah.
started putting the 4 desks together.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything became a collaboration. Math became a collaboration.
Yeah.
Science became a
Yeah.
collaboration. Vocabulary and completing sentences and definition. Everything became a collaboration because what we've learned is that the brain cognitively,
Yes.
it is better in group as
Yes.
it is than it is by
Yeah.
itself. The brain, the creative powers that is in us
Yes.
is motivated and encouraged and massaged when we work
Mhm.
together. So
Absolutely.
asking for help and seeking for help is powerful.
Right. I was going to say it's not powerless. It's quite the opposite, actually. It
Mhm,
is
mhm,
powerful,
mhm.
right?
So
Knowing when to
pray.
seek
You can
help.
pray for help. Pray for
Yes.
help. Pray for your tribe. Pray because it is something that is ours. It's
Hmm.
for us to have. Yes. Don't
Yeah.
go it alone.
Right. And when if you're on the other side of this thing, of us talking about power and you're not walking in your power, if you're on the other side of this and you think, well, I am powerful, I need you to also be aware of how you use that power, because you could very well be the person
Mhm.
that strips other people of their power, and that doesn't make you powerful.
Mhm.
It really doesn't make you powerful because you can subdue someone else or because you can lord over someone else. That's not power.
Mhm. Or manipulate.
Or manipulate. That's not power at
Yeah.
all. At
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
I was told one time, it's like, oh, well, you did such and such. And it's like, okay, it was a mistake that was made. Well, I mean, you've done da 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 da. And it's like, okay. And the answer was, I'm growing. So I probably would make another mistake. All I can do is tell you that I will try to correct this one.
Mm-hmm.
But if the conversation is about me not making mistakes, that's not
Forget
going to
it. It's a wrap.
happen. It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm. And the power in that is I'm okay with making my mistakes. Are you okay with me making mistakes?
Right.
How can I empower you to be
Right.
okay with me making mistakes? Because I'm going to do that. I'm
Right.
going to ask the wrong questions. I'm going to write the wrong answer. Sometimes it
Yes.
happens, right? My
Yes.
power
Yes.
is that, yep, I can make a mistake too. This is a
Absolutely.
learning opportunity. That's
Jamel,
powerful.
yes. Jamel says very powerful. When you think you can do it all by yourself, you will eventually find out you can. We all need help. You'll burn out.
You'll burn out.
You're burnt out. You become, have mood swings. You become short and frustrated and irritated.
Mhm.
You have to seek help. And if you are one that does not, stop, pause, take inventory, and sit with that. Why is it difficult for me?
Please find out. Find
Yes.
out, because a lot of times people who can't work collaboratively are very sensitive and tender to criticism.
Mhm.
And that's powerlessness,
Yeah.
right? When you can't
Yes.
when you can't be in a space where somebody can share their wrong, or if you are a perfectionist, and you need everyone around you to get it right all the time in the beginning, that's powerlessness.
Yes.
And so yeah, the challenge is to render yourself powerful,
Right.
and that is to start the practice of bringing somebody into your space and allowing them to be who they are,
Mhm.
and gently allow yourself to hold yourself together.
Right. Yes.
Because that's how you'll feel it.
Absolutely.
Even, when you, well, for those of us who didn't micromanage little babies, when you watch a child like get up and stand up and you just become, as Wayne Dyer says, non-interfering, it is a powerful thing to watch another little human stand up, open up a cereal box, like go in the refrigerator with their little cells and know exactly what they want to get on their own. Like it's powerful to watch them operate in their power and their awareness to do things. So it's powerful to have a team around you and to be in awe of, well, look what life showed up for my circle.
Yes.
Especially if you're challenged with letting people help you.
Yes.
Be surprised and amazed that, so the power is going to come when you allow people to show up as they are.
Yeah. So I would challenge you to, just sit with yourself and find out, like, what am I powerful in, right?
I think that's the best exercise.
Because we all have don't think about it, feel about it. What am I powerful in? Because when you think about it, you talk yourself out of it, start hearing everybody else's voices. Feel about it, right? It's so much in finding your power. But I also want us to get to the balance part of it, and we'll have to revisit it in a month because next week we have something for the dads. But we'll have to get back into it and finish it. But I do want us to be able to get to the point of, well, how does that balance, and how do you find balance? So what do we do to find balance in our lives? So there's so many other things and other ways that we talk about how to own our power, right? And like, speaking up and building a supportive network. We kind of talked about that a little bit, right? And so maintain a growth mindset. We're going to talk about some more of this, but what I want to get to is then how do we balance? Because we as women, we do a lot. We balance a lot, like, right, with work life, if we're working, business life, if we're owning businesses, and coming home and taking care of families and maintaining relationships outside of the homes. Like, we do a lot. And part of being powerful is knowing when to stand in your truth, which might means you need to say no. Some things.
Boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries are powerful.
Yes. Having boundaries. Oh my gosh. That's like setting limits with people.
Yes.
Having boundaries with yourself.
I was going to say limits with everything, like getting really, really clear. It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to go to a sales seminar. Listen to us.
Yes. You don't have to pay $2,000.
Right. You can turn a 10-minute timer on and be like, this person got 10 minutes. And then talk and then get off. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to journal. I want to journal. I'm going to give myself, like, setting limits it creates balance.
Yes.
It really does. It's foreign and it feels a little uncomfortable and rude sometimes if you don't understand the beauty of your power. But if you can do that, it does feel powerful at the end.
It does.
You've done everything you wanted to do, and you've created the fences to stop it. Okay, here we're going to stop here. We're going to cook dinner here. Remember where we used to go to the pool all summer, like in the summertime, be at the pool all day, and it's like, oh, it's 3:30. We got to wrap it up.
Yes.
Get everything together, get home, shower the kids, get our dinner together. That was a boundary. And when I look back now, that felt powerful.
Yes.
To be able to go to the park.
When you have boundaries,
all those things.
Get way more things done.
Yeah. Yes.
When you have boundaries, when you set boundaries and limits for other people and yourself, you get way more things done.
Mhm.
And you
You
feel
can
good.
have it
Like, you
all.
feel
So
good about
yes,
what
if you
you're
want
doing.
to play your little Candy Crush, set a timer. I'm gonna do
Yes.
10 minutes of Candy Crush. So
Yes.
you're not like, oh, I don't get to think. I don't get to do. You know,
Yes.
you can do whatever you want. Just set a
Mhm.
limits to it for yourself and create a boundary. These people who live, you and Michelle and I, who live by date books, they keep us alive.
Yes. Yes.
They keep us alive. They keep us on point. You get things done by
If my
creating
life
a
is
boundary.
discombobulated, I can rest assured I can go to the date book and there's nothing in it.
Yes. Like those meetings we missed last week. I was like, but I had an alarm set and still missed it.
I
But
didn't have an alarm set, but I did have it in the calendar to pop up. I don't know how I missed it. So, y'all, we talking about, I had a meeting at 8 and I had a meeting at 9. And when I realized I missed them both, it
I
was
did
11:30.
I did too.
And I was like, I missed both
Unbelievable.
of them.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Wasn't nothing written down in the day. It is something powerful about brain to hand to pen to paper.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
But where it was in that digital calendar of mine, I never wrote it down.
Mine's popped up, and I don't know if I said, "Oh, okay, I'll get ready," and then I got sidetracked on something else, and I never came to this thing. I never turned on the Zoom, and I looked
Yes.
up, and I was just like, "I missed my meetings."
Yes.
And I remembered a little thing coming up on my phone, like,
Yes.
now I set my alarm like hours ahead instead of like 50 minutes, 10 minutes before, because I will blow it off. Life is happening.
Life is happening. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning. I'm so happy that we're okay with, we're sorry, you guys, we got to cancel for tonight or tomorrow night or whatever, because when life is happening, and this is and I was just, me and Stephanie was just talking about this. When we do that, we demonstrate to others, give permission to others to do the same. When life is happening, it is okay to tweak the plan, to do something different, to listen to your body. Yes. That is part of having balance as well. Mm-hmm. That is part of operating in your power as well.
And vulnerability,
yes,
is powerful.
And when you're vulnerable, you will ask for help. Mm-hmm. See how that works hand in hand?
It's all together.
It works.
It's all the things that we've been somehow, I don't know, we've been made to. Vulnerability is not okay. But vulnerability is the highest space of you. It's my authentic self, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah.
One of the things I have in my notes that just keep jumping off the page at me is thanking my life experience for showing me what I need and what I don't want. Mm-hmm. Operating that, having gratitude. So all the things we talk about, how you learn those things, it's okay. You don't have to go back and regret it happened. Thank it. It was part of your experience. It's part of your journey. It's part of getting you here on this Zoom with us, on this Facebook Live with us, to listen to what we have to say, to take from it, and even from us, take from it what you will, what resonates with you.
Applies,
But it is your life experiences that brought you here, right? And so be thankful, have gratitude.
You might as well.
Right? Right.
You might as well be in gratitude about it all. Even if you miss it, even if you want it.
Yes.
Even if you desired it, even if you imagined that it was a loss, be grateful for it.
Be grateful for it. Be grateful.
That's where the power is.
Yes.
You cannot be powerful and complain.
No.
You cannot, as Joyce Meyer says, you cannot be powerful and pitiful.
I love it. I love it. I love that. And gratitude and complaining they can't dwell in the space at the exact same time.
Two different worlds. So you get to choose. We talked about this in the beginning. Power is choosing the world I want to see.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Standing in integrity, truthfulness, standing in integrity. Mm-hmm. Live and stand with integrity. You need to really. This says, And this might be a little sharp for some ears, but this says I really need to own my shit.
Mhm.
Own your stuff, but only yours though.
Only yours.
Only yours. And if it's anybody else's, relinquish it. Let it go. It doesn't belong to you.
Have a ceremony, funeral.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
Have a ceremony to let it go. And it's not easy. You'll pick it back up and be like, I put you down. What are you doing here?
Yes. Wait, might you show up again? It'll show up again. And show up. Like, I got this. I did this. It'll be like, bam. Really? You thought? As the girl say,
hey, hello, old friend.
Oh, I got that. I'm all over that. And ain't. No, it's because it's a process.
It's a process. Yeah.
In order to heal and to start to work in your truth on this journey, you don't get over anything.
No.
You got to work through it.
Work through it.
We're going to jump right over. Right.
Yeah, because the pain of change.
Yes.
The pain of change. The pain of change. Nobody ever, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that about everybody, but it's not explained. It's not, it's not, I learned to be patient with it, helping other people, i.e. my children. But
I was going to say our kids.
You're working.
You don't know how to be patient. I got something for you.
Right.
Long come that little boy. You're going to learn some patience today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So give yourself so much grace and so much compassion. The grace and compassion that you would give to another, give to yourself. And if you're not able to give it to yourself, I question the validity of that which you give to others.
Absolutely.
Because it may just be manipulation and not
absolutely
and compassion.
Absolutely. And I want you to consider, if you're saying yes to everything, if you're doing what everybody else expects you to do, if you are wearing yourself out, if you're operating outside of your power, because what you're doing doesn't feel congruent to you, consider this. Consider your health. Consider your health. I told somebody today, it's like, I'm doing this. I was doing this physical therapy, but I haven't been doing it like I need to. And just I let the person go on and on and on. And I said, you could do physical therapy and still feel what you feel because you haven't let go of the stress. Mm-hmm. You're carrying it all throughout your body. Mm-hmm. The person loves yoga. It's like doing yoga with your shoulders like this, and you're not going to let them go, but you stretch.
Mm-hmm. That's not yoga anyway.
I know.
The whole point is pulling it back.
I know.
Yes. Getting in the
you can engage in something that you think is relaxing you, but if you have all this stress around you that you are not dealing with and you're not letting go.
Like going on vacation and still doing appointments.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's not balance.
That's not balance. So consider the consequences of having poor balance in your life, whether it's, the work-life balance, fatigue, poor health, losing people in your life because of your disposition now is different, is negative, so you got to be able to manage your time, be okay with managing your time, because if you don't, the cost is great. The cost could be great. We not even having to talk about your mental health part of it.
Right. We won't have to worry about mental health when you walk in your power.
Exactly.
Because you have to do all those things. You got to have good self-talk, good boundaries, and everything. The brain will we are designed to self-repair.
Yes.
But the balance is being integral. The balance is monitoring our thought life, bringing things under subjection. All of those things play a major role in our balance and our power. All of those things play a major role. And then and consequently, the byproduct is a good mental health. It's good mental health.
Yes. Some days when I have had a long day, and Stephanie and I have talked about this before, it hasn't happened because I was intentional about it. But I learned to be intentional about it because I had a long day and then I just couldn't find words. So I didn't speak. And now I intentionally, after a long day, do not speak. I need to woosah. I will play solitaire. I whatever. I just need to not speak.
Now, I had a long drive from my office home today, and I intentionally nothing. I didn't call you. My mom sent me a text telling me the baby was over. I didn't call her back. I because I had just been seeing clients back to back. I knew I had to step up to this, and so I just shut it down. Like, be and be.
Just be, and it is okay. That is part of the selfishness we're talking about. Just be. Now, if you know, like Stephanie's like, I got this to do when I get home, I'm shutting everything down until I get there, right? If you know you got a family that you have to mingle with and talk to, give yourself some time to step away and shut down so that you're not giving your family all the negative. If there was some negativity and stress in your day, you're not giving them all of that.
Because that's powerless.
Because that's powerlessness. Going home to kick the dog is powerlessness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So do a cell phone detox. I love how he's like intentionally just nodding. Like, I'm okay. If they're dying, they'll call a few times. And we've learned that
my voicemail message says dial 911. Yeah. This is a medical emergency. Please hang up now and dial 911.
Yes. Prioritize yourself, right? Ladies, a lot of times we do not sleep. We don't balance out in prioritizing ourselves, our sleep. And we have to do that because that's a natural part of our body's healing. That's a natural part of our mind's healing is making sure that we're getting enough rest.
And I'll say this: I know we gotta tighten get towards the end, but I want to say this. So I used to really be, of course, we both had our master's programs and we've been in school, undergrads too. So we know what it's like and been moms and wives.
And had internships
and full-time jobs.
Right.
So we know what it's like to just stay up and burn and burn and burn and burn. So in the last 4 years, I have not been able to do that because I want to work out at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And that's important to me. So as much as I want to stay up, I'm telling y'all, I cried. I was like, God, I just want to be able to stay up. Why can't I just stay up? I need to get some stuff done. I want to write this. I cannot do it. I have prayed. I have cried. But by 9:45, 10 o'clock, your girl is in the bed.
Yes.
And my body wakes itself up at 3:15, 3:30, 3:33. Typically, my body just like, boop, it wakes itself up. But what has also been happening since I have surrendered and stopped beating myself up,
right,
is that now when I get up, I can write. I go straight into meditation. I don't have to worry about the little grumblies in my mind. I can go into the beach or wherever I want to go as soon as I close myself off. But it took time. And so honor where you are.
Honor where you are.
Honor where you are, and everything else will start working its way. It's working itself out for you, because I thought I was missing out because I couldn't stay up and burn the midnight oil. I had to be in the bed. And now I get up and I like my 3:33. I get so much done between 3:33 and 7:30 in the morning that most people, I have done so much.
Yes.
At 3:30 in the morning, by 9 o'clock in the morning, I get so much done. But I had to give myself permission and grace to lay this body down at 9:45. No more staying up all night trying to put a paper together or create a cohesive sentence.
Let me tell you, when stress hits your life, you will be somewhere like, God, I need to be asleep. Why can't I stay asleep? Why can't I go when stressors start to hit? So
Mhm.
you want to make sure that your body is already adapted to, and if it's not, you can start tonight
Mhm.
getting adapted to some healthy rest.
Mhm.
Some healthy rest.
Mhm.
There are some days, and Stephanie can tell you, there are some days it's like, girl, I'm still on a Saturday. It's like I'm still in the bed.
Yes, I will sleep in too.
A
Mhm.
couple hours later, like, and I'm still in the bed. And I might not necessarily be asleep. But there was a time that I could not do that at all. Like, no, I need to be up. I need to be. Well, now I'm starting to listen to my body because, girl, you didn't get enough sleep last night or the last couple nights.
Mhm.
So you need to just be today.
Mhm.
So, you know, have that time for you.
It's
It's
a part of the balance. It
well,
really,
listen,
really is.
if you're not here,
Mhm.
somebody else going to do it anyway.
Mhm.
So have that balance for yourself. You cannot be your best you for anybody else if you are not your best you for you.
Yes. Yes.
If you need assistance with any of that, can I just tell you that therapy work is not just for people who have a diagnosis?
Well, you know what I feel about diagnosis.
Anybody or a diagnosis, period.
A diagnosis is only there so that we can give you treatment.
Yes.
That's the only
And
reason.
insurance companies are all right with it.
Yes, because with that diagnosis, they have a prescribed treatment. But
Right.
it doesn't mean anything about the self, the person.
Exactly.
It just says, "Oh, you have anxiety and this is how I'm going to treat you."
But what happens is people are like, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't have a diagnosis. I'm not this. So I don't need to go. And therapy work is just about helping you on your journey and healing. And everybody has that. Now, not everybody's ready to
Nope.
process through it or are aware that
Mhm.
that's what's happening. That's what needs to happen. So you have to schedule some personal time. And part of that is speaking with someone, perhaps,
Mhm.
right? You decide who that is and who helps you to process that. Cause I don't want to just like, tell you you need to go to therapy, you, but talking through it. And if sometimes the mind operates in a way where you're just like, I just cannot make any sense and unscramble any of this. That is what therapy work is for,
Mhm.
right? So you want to make sure that hopefully that you can do that. But I need you to know it's okay to do it.
Well,
Not
yes.
what you
And if
should
you
do.
find yourself
Okay.
listening to this and saying, I don't know how to get to power, or whatever your narrative is about that, or
Mhm.
I still don't feel balanced, because we can all do a head job,
Right.
in ourselves, right? But if you don't feel like I can embrace this and make it my
Right.
day-to-day practice, go talk to somebody
Go
so that they
talk.
can help you put all the puzzle pieces on the table, scramble them around, and then make
Mhm.
them fit to
Yes.
create the beautiful puzzle that is you. And just that's what we're here for, to sort things out. I don't have
Yes.
any answers for you. You get
Absolutely.
your own answers. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't have answers for anyone that comes to me.
Right.
My belief is that you are powerful beyond measure,
And
and
you have the
your
answer within
answers
you.
are inside of you. You just need
Absolutely.
me to be the little lighthouse that says, "Hey, have you considered looking over here?"
Right. And it's like, oh, I didn't even know that was over there. Okay.
Exactly. We hear that all day, every day.
Yes.
I didn't even know. Oh my
Yes.
God, I didn't even think about that. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Wow. We
Yes.
hear this
Yes.
over and over again.
We do. We do. Right. So invest in ourselves, and that's investing in ourselves.
That's
So whether
investing
it's
in
that or professional development, because I listen to inspirational things, and
you.
then I was like, okay, and I can pull things out that I want to work on that resonates with me. So
Mhm.
make time to devote to yourself, professionally, personally. Um, get the assistance, and
Yeah,
it's okay.
it is. It is. That's
Thank you,
balance.
guys. That is balance. That's standing in your power. We'll
Yes.
come back with some more of this at a later time. The next time we're going to be talking to the guys. Um, because it's going to be after Father's Day or something like that. We're going to be talking. I don't mean to say it like that. It's going to be on Father's Day, and we're going to be talking to the guys because I've had the guys waiting. I've had some messages sent. They're waiting, right? So we're going to be talking to the guys about something. We're going to continue. But I want to also thank you all who support us, who have supported us throughout this last 2 years.
Yes.
We've been doing this live. It has been amazing.
Yes.
Being able to reach people. And with that said, please give us some hearts, some thumbs up, and share. Go back to the supporting because we want to reach the masses, right? We want to reach the masses. Thank you so much, Jamil said. I really enjoyed your information. Thank you. I'm glad you could get something from it.
Absolutely.
Everybody appreciates listening in. So share it with people, because we want to reach more and more people. And we're not trying to reach more and more people for monetizing anything. We love what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get information, we like to share the information.
Yes. Yes.
So
yeah, and we need to share it in our community anyway.
We do. We need it. And
we share it.
And we don't get to pick and choose. Right? To whom much is given, much is required. We have given you some information. Share it.
Yeah, you're responsible now. Like, tag, you're it.
Tag, you're it. Tag, you're it. If you are watching us, you are it. Share this video with people so that they can get this information as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you guys again. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Michelle. Deep bow to you. This is wonderful. Thanks.
Yes, this was absolutely amazing.
Yes.